Hello everyone, and today we're back into another top 5. And today we're making a top 5 on the top 5 ice types in all of Loomian Legacy. And there are a lot of very good ice types in this game, and we're going to rank the top 5 of them. And remember, these top 5s are going to be different from any other personal perspective. So yeah, let's get right into this top 5. So yeah, on the number 5 onto the list, it was really close, but I decided to pick Akalos. And the reason why I picked Akalos is because it's a water ice type that hits very hard, and also Bromboost can make it really powerful. But this could be any of these three. It could be Akalos, it could be Wobblist, it could be Icy Goal. All three of those could be in this spot, honestly. But I decided to go Akalos because it has one thing that not any other ice type has in this game. It actually is not weak to fire. Heck, it resists fire because of its ability Aqua Body, which is amazing because you can actually bring this in against a fire type and you can actually beat them with it, which is something no other ice type on this list will say. It has something no other ice type in the game has, which gives it a massive advantage. So yeah, that's why Akalos is on this list. Plus, it has a couple other perks. It's a good trap user, has solid bolt, hits pretty hard, and yeah, it's just a very, very good Loomian. The only reason it's number 5 is for a roam status. It's not that good. I think there are other ice types that can do a little bit better than Akalos, but it does have a lot of perks compared to other ice types, and that's the reason it is on this list. Plus, it does get Deep Freeze, so it can hit those pesky water types, although there are other Loomians that can use Deep Freeze better, so yeah. Again, another reason why Akalos is only number 5 and not higher onto this list. But you could also put Wobblisk and Icy Goal there as well. So number 4 into the list, it's actually going to be Mojo. And I think it makes a lot of sense. Mojo is really good, hits very hard, has Frost Beam and Deep Freeze, Boom Bash is brawler coverage, and can outspeed anything in the game after its chocolate bar is consumed. Sugar Rush is probably the best ability to run on it, and it's really good with that ability. It can completely sweep the game. It is one of the scariest ice types in the entire game, because once it gets its chocolate bar up, it's almost impossible to stop. Only brawler types can really knock out this thing, and even then, that's even iffy. Although, the reason why it's only number 4 and not higher is because there are a couple Meta Loomians that can actually take it out. Your Soul. This does nothing to Your Soul, does nothing to Mutagon. Rustling is also kind of a problem as well. And there's a couple other things too, like, you kind of need to use the bolt. You gotta use the Peace of Mind right away in order for your Mojo to do work. And also, you only have one shot with that sweep. If you lose that shot of your sweep is over because you lose that chocolate bar and you're back to 66 speed. I think it's 67. So yeah, that's the reason it only is number 4 and not higher. But man, it can be very scary if used correctly. If you're really skilled and know how to use Mojo, it can become one of the scariest sweepers in the entire game. And even though it doesn't have an ability to increase its damage, it does have 120 attack, which makes it hit really, really hard. This can even hit Tundralin, which is awesome. Brawler coverage is amazing for Mojo, because it can hit other ice types that otherwise would not be able to hit, which makes it just so good. It's a really good ice type, and it definitely deserves to be in this top 5. And, you know, the fact that it can have this great sweep potential just gives it a massive advantage overall. So yeah, Mojo being number 4 onto this list. So, for number 3 onto the list of ice types, it's actually going to be the ice type starter itself, Heber. And yeah, Heber was going to be on this list somewhere, and of course it's in the top 3. It can place icicle traps, has quick punch priority. Earth Ice is so good offensively. It can hit so many different things. Amazing melee defense. Can hit hard with Awakening. It's just Heber is so good. And since it's immune to electric, it could swap in to any electric type attack and take no damage, while hitting very hard in return. We talk about the melee Heber a lot, though, and that is the set that everyone would probably use. But how about a ranged Heber? I know this is kind of different compared to other Loomians I talk about, but I talked about Heber before, so let's talk about the range one. The range one is awesome as well because it can actually click Mud Splatter to lower speed. It can also use Mud Slide to get rid of hazards. It can run Dodge and Mud. I think it's Quicksand in order to deal damage over time, kind of like what Pestilence does. And also it has Frost Beam, which is its highest damaging move. It actually is pretty solid as a range attacker. Not amazing, not as good as its melee form, of course, but there are a lot of different ways you can run it, which makes it very scary. And also, Heber overall with its high bulk just makes it so good. It makes it so tough to take out. The only reason it is number 3 and not higher is because it doesn't have any way to heal itself up, unlike other Loomians on this list. So yeah, that's the reason Heber is only number 3. The top 2 Loomians can actually heal their health back, which gives them a massive advantage compared to any other Loomian. So yeah, Heber's number 3. Let's get into number 2. And number 2 onto this list is actually going to be Wintrix. And I was thinking about putting Wintrix number 3 at first. I was thinking about having Heber 2, but Wise. The Wise ability completely carries Wintrix. It makes it so you don't have any swap-ins at all. Instead, it hits pretty solidly hard. There's really no swap-ins for Wintrix. It makes it one of the scariest Loomians in the game because any not super effective hit deals the same amount as a neutral hit, which is insanity. Plus, it has Perch and Peace of Mind to give it health back. You could also run Baffle on this, but that's better on Tricycle than it is on the Wintrix set. But it's an option. And you could also run Rant. I think Rant's also a move you can run on it, but again, more tech. But it's mainly Brain Freeze. Brain Freeze is a move that can hit Mind types, which just makes it so clutch in so many occasions. Because Mind types are one of the most scariest Loomians in the games right now. Like, Cosmeor is a problem, Dusket's a problem, Sachi. There are a bunch of Mind types currently in the meta, which are very, very scary. And plus, it can run its SA with Glide and do a lot of nice work. It can become a sweeper with Glide. It can also run Mud Spatter, too, to hit Serenite, which, honestly, I would probably recommend it to run Mud Spatter, because Serenite is kind of a problem. But yeah, Wintrix is amazing. The only reason it's not number 1 is because it's not that bulky. It has a little bit of bulk, but not that much compared to number 1. And I think we all know who number 1 is, because the best ice type in the game is Tundralin. Again, I don't think anyone is really shocked with this because, yeah, we talked about this guy already. Resilience and Body Crash with Bulk Up and Rejuvenate makes Tundralin pretty much eliminate 90% of melee attackers in the entire game. I mean, literally, completely wipe melee attackers off the map. And when combining this with a range attacker, like, well, more like range tank with, like, Venolin, Gastro, Terraclaw, just makes it really hard to stop. Tundralin is unstoppable in the meta, and it's broken. There's no doubt about it. This thing is so broken. Like, the fact that it can just spam bulk ups on any melee attacker and then do big damage in return just makes it so hard to beat. Like, you can't really beat this thing. You have to use a super effective range attacker to even beat this thing. That's what makes Tundralin so scary, and that's why Tundralin is number 1 on this list. So only super effective range hits can beat this thing. After that, it's doing heavy damage to you in return, while also increasing your bulk. And also the fact that it has Rejuvenate and Ice Coverage makes it just so good. It's basically the best melee tank in the entire game. No questions asked. So yeah, Tundralin, the best ice type in the game, and also probably the best Loomian in the game as well. So yeah, so here it is, Tundralin. And Tundralin is definitely the most broken Loomian in this game. Best ice type, most broken Loomian, and I would not be shocked if it's number 1 on a lot of other lists as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video of me showcasing the top 5 ice types. This is definitely a very fun video to make, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!